Imagine a celestial kingdom where the crown isn't inherited but violently seized, again and again, a cosmic cycle of overthrow. Welcome, listeners of Veritas Antiqua. I'm your host. Today, we will journey together into the depths of the Kumarbi myth to uncover the secrets of this ancient and frankly shocking saga.
It's a fascinating journey, too, because we're diving into these ancient Hurrian texts, specifically about the god Kumarbi. And what makes this really compelling is that we're working with fragments, just pieces, whispers from thousands of years ago.
So it's like piecing together a puzzle.
Exactly. A puzzle about divine power, rebellion, and some very, very surprising actions. Our mission today is to reconstruct this story as best we can.
Okay, let's jump right in. This Kumarbi myth, it's not just some obscure story, is it? It feels foundational.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for Anatolian mythology. And, scholars often point out the parallel.
Greek myths, like Hesiod.
Precisely. Hesiod's theogony, that whole theme of sons overthrowing fathers, gods deposing gods, you see strong echoes.
And even though our texts are broken, fragmented, they still have this incredible power, don't they? You can feel the drama.
You really can. Breathtaking, even in pieces. At its heart, it's about this cycle, a pattern. Divine rulers getting violently thrown out by whoever comes next.
And there's a core group involved.
A core triad, yes. Alu, Anu, and then Kumarbi himself. Each one rules for what the text calls 9 years.
9 years. That sounds specific.
It probably isn't literal human years, more like a symbolic cosmic stretch of time, a significant era.
Got it. So one rules, the next serves.
That's the dynamic. One god sits on the throne, the next one serves him, brings him food and drink, until that servant gets an idea.
And rises up.
Rises up and takes power. It's a brutal system.
And Kumarbi, he seems like a really unusual character within this. The sources paint him almost as, well, childlike. A joker.
And a revolutionary god, someone who just doesn't respect authority. He's known for, and this is a quote, mischief that even the devil wouldn't think of.
Wow. So not your typical stern, powerful god figure. He sounds chaotic.
He brings a chaotic energy, definitely. And that characterization, right from the start, it hints at something deeper.
Deeper than just a power grab.
Maybe. It suggests these overthrows, maybe they're part of a lesson. For all the gods, don't get too arrogant. Listen, because, as the myth points out, there's no principle that mortal thrones are more stable than divine thrones. Power is precarious, everywhere.
A warning, then, even for the gods.
Perhaps, and maybe for humans listening to the tale, too.
Okay, so let's trace this cycle. It starts with Alalu.
Alalu is the first sky ruler we meet, and his servant, for 9 years, is Anu, very diligent, serving food, drink, the whole thing.
But then Anu gets restless.
He gets what the text calls a devilish idea. He rebels, and he succeeds.
And Alu.
Overthrown, forced to flee down to the black earth, the underworld. So the pattern is set. Ruthless ambition.
Power taken by force. And then Anu takes the throne.
Anu takes the throne, and guess who becomes his servant?
Kumarbi.
Kumarbi. For another 9 years, he bows at Anu's feet, serves him food, drink, just like Anu did for Alalu.
But Kumarbi isn't just going to serve forever, given his reputation.
Not a chance. After his 9 years are up, he decides it's his turn. And the confrontation, it's described quite vividly.
How so?
Kumarbi's eyes are like steel, they radiate light. And Anu apparently can't even meet his gaze. He loses his nerve.
He tries to run?
He tries to escape, yeah, just like Alalu did. Flies up towards the sky.
But Kumarbi catches him.
He does. Chases him, grabs him by the feet, pulls him back down.
Yeah.
And then comes the really shocking part. The part that leaves you stunned.
Go on. Kumarbi bites off Anu's male organ and swallows it.
Yeah. Why?
The text is explicit. To stop Anu from having any more children. To cut off his lineage, ensure Kumarbi's own line would rule.
It's extreme.
Utterly extreme. And the source material really highlights this. It says, nobody had ever thought of it before Kumarbi.
So it wasn't just violence, it was inventive violence. You could say that. It's that devilish trickery again. It's not just about seizing power, it's about fundamentally altering the future, ensuring his own dominance in a really permanent biological way. It's a game changer in divine politics.
So Kumarbi must be feeling pretty triumphant at this point.
For a moment, yes. A kind of grotesque joy, the text implies. He's done it. He's overthrown the king in the most final way possible.
But it doesn't last.
Not at all. Because Anu, even mutilated, has one last weapon. A curse.
Ah, what does he say?
He tells Kumarbi basically, don't celebrate too soon, you're ungrateful, treacherous, a fool. And he says Kumarbi's joy will turn to terrible sorrow.
Yeah, but what's the curse involved?
Anu essentially implants 3 calamitous things inside Kumarbi, makes him pregnant with them.
Pregnant? What things?
Okay, first, the Storm God Teshub. We know from later myths he becomes Kumarbi's biggest rival, so a future enemy.
Makes sense. What else?
Second, the mighty Aranza River, that's the Tigris. And third, the venerable god Tashimyun.
So Anu curses him with these 3, predicts Kumarbi will regret it so much he'll bang his head against the rocks, and then Anu just vanishes.
Ascends to heaven and disappears, leaving Kumarbi pregnant and cursed.
Okay, but wait. The Storm God Teshub, okay, he's an adversary. But why are the Tigris River and this god Tukmu considered calamitous or bad?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's a bit of a puzzle in the scholarship. Tashu in other texts seems quite loyal. And the Tigris, well, it's a river, maybe a bit fierce, as the text says, but inherently evil.
So why are they part of the curse?
Well, there are theories. Maybe they represent something inescapable, like the consequences of his actions, even the seemingly neutral ones, will always be with him. Or maybe their negative roles are just lost in the parts of the story we don't have.
Right, the fragmentation again.
Exactly. It adds this layer of mystery. We don't fully grasp the cosmic significance of everything Anu loaded onto Kumarbi.
So Kumarbi is left, suffering.
Immensely. His joy vanished instantly, replaced by torment, regret. He goes into hiding.
And the things inside him.
He violently expels them, vomits and spits them out. The text is incredibly graphic here. It says the spittle was so huge and disgusting that even a mountain, Ganzura mountain, recoiled in horror.
Goodness, a truly visceral image.
It is. And after this expulsion, Kumarbi is apparently distraught, screaming, shouting, driven mad by what he's done. He needs help.
Where does he go?
He travels to Nippur to consult the chief god of Babylon, Marduk, to ask for wisdom, basically asking, how do I fix this? How do I undo my foolishness?
Marduk tells him.
And that's where the tablet breaks open.
Oh, come on, seriously.
Seriously, right at that crucial point. It's incredibly frustrating as a researcher, and for anyone following the story, we don't get Marduk's advice or the immediate aftermath.
But we know what happens later. With Tabe.
Yes. From other related myths, we know Anu's prophecy holds true. Teshub, the storm god born from that curse, does grow up to become Kumarbi's main challenger. The cycle continues, in a way.
It's amazing how much drama is packed into the fragments we do have. You said it's barely, what, 3/4 of one column?
That's about right for this specific part of the story. Imagine the full epic. And this wasn't just some local story told in one village.
No. It was widespread.
Oh, yes. Across the entire Hurrian world, their oikoumenia. We find connections and references from Urkesh in Syria to Cumia, the storm god's holy city, Tudul on the Euphrates, even Mount Hazi on the Mediterranean coast. This was a major narrative.
So, thinking about this centuries later, what does it all mean for us? Trying to understand these ancient cultures, what are the big questions it raises?
Well, one is definitely motivation. Were these divine coups about progress? Or just naked ambition? The text seems to lean towards ambition.
But you mentioned Kumarbi's revolutionary aspect.
Right, and that's a fascinating wrinkle. Some scholars look at Kumarbi, despite his methods, and see maybe hints of something else, like traces of, well, maybe primitive socialism is too strong a term, but perhaps an underlying impulse towards benefiting humanity, or at least shaking up an unjust divine order.
So, not just a simple villain, more complex.
Potentially, yes. It complicates his character, makes him more than just a power-hungry god. And then there's that core message about stability.
That no throne is safe, not even a god's.
Exactly. A timeless observation about power, whether it's divine or mortal.
So, we've journeyed through this dramatic, often shocking cycle of divine succession, met the enigmatic Kumarbi, and witnessed the birth of his greatest adversary from a curse.
Indeed. And it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Given how little text we actually have, what if we had the whole thing, unbroken, maybe even, retouched by a Homer, as one scholar mused?
How different would it look?
How might our understanding shift? What other secrets about power, about revolution, about the very nature of these gods are locked away in those missing lines? It's something to really ponder.
A truly compelling thought to end on. I hope you've enjoyed our journey into this mysterious world. If you like this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend. Until we meet again next week to follow the trail of another ancient legend, take care.